So this is an impromptu response video, and I have not done a response video since Dave 2D, which was the very first video on my channel. So this one is in response to um, Matt Wall's poetry and something. Matt Wall Poetry, he's got a YouTube channel, and he recently did a video that you can't see unless you're a member, but you can listen to it on his podcast. Go to his channel. I don't know. There's links and stuff. I'm sure, but it was about um, craftsmen versus artists or something. That's kind of the title. You can see it listed on the channel. Uh, and first of all, I have to tease him a little bit for or congratulate him. I'm not teasing. I'm not teasing you, Matt. I'm going to congratulate you on your first ever public display of trying to decipher the difference between the meaning of two words, which you have said so many times that you hate doing. But I'm glad that it was a foray that you enjoyed, and that's what inspired me to make this video because I saw what it was. I was like, oh, he's really trying to figure out the difference between these two things. And you did propose it was a really good proposal, like he proposed, it's something, I'm paraphrasing, something like uh um artists don't follow rules, I guess, and craftsmen do. Craftsmen learn how to do something, and then they follow these rubrics and things, and that was his proposal. And I have also recently been thinking about crafts. What is the difference between crafts and art? And so it was kind of funny that or ironic that he, coincidentally, you choose a word, I don't know, that he posted that video because you might not know that, but in female culture, at least in the area that I grew up in, crafts is a huge thing. And while I always considered myself, excuse me, to be really artsy, I liked to create when I was a kid, especially, and I liked art. And I was really PO'd when my small school made me choose between art and music once I got into seventh grade. And because I wanted to do both, And I've often wondered, like, what is the difference? What is the difference between crafts and art? Because somehow I feel the difference, and I feel that I like one and not the other. Now, this is completely subjective. This is only my opinion. There's nothing wrong with crafts. You use a lot of the same tools, I guess, except uh, my non-exploratory impression of crafts is that it involves a lot more glue and ribbon. So, which is fine. I know that there have been lots of situations like in the early college years where girls in a dormitory were trying to like bond with other girls on the floor. And so they would have crafts, and I went to one or something, and I think I left early. I just, you place one construction paper on top of another construction paper, and I was just like, I don't know. I'm not thrilled. I don't know why. I wish I were, and but please carry on, ladies. I'm gonna go back to my room. So, but what is the difference, Because they're still creating things, but in crafts, there are still no rules. You can follow templates that are, be inspired by what other people have made and do that kind of thing. But you really, I mean, you go in there and you do whatever you want. I don't know her, but I know of a mom that has a whole craft room, and her kids are really artsy and they love it, and they go in there and they just create and they have all of these things at their disposal to use. Um, Now, so what is the difference then? If it's not, because he was saying how, yeah, I already said what he said. Craftsmen, he was proposing that craftsmen are trying to perfect something according to how others have perfected this certain thing, and that, but artists don't. Artists don't do that. That was his proposal, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, oh gosh, what was I thinking? I'm thinking that perhaps it's something else. Perhaps it's something a step further. Perhaps it's not necessarily whether you're following like a certain passed down uh, set of skills that you're supposed to do something a certain way or whatever. Because you could argue that even in art, you're still using skills and rules and ideas and concepts that have already been discovered and have been taught over and over, and then you take those and you do whatever you want with them, and you use those as tools to create something new. uh, so perhaps the difference between crafts and art, like between a craftsman and an artist, perhaps what you're looking for is more of a tradesman. Maybe that's what you're looking for to fit your definition. Maybe it's not maybe it's not maybe the definition you propose is not the difference between crafts and art. It's the difference between a tradesman and an artist. And because a trade, you learn skills, you learn a set of rules, a set of techniques, you do something a certain way, and you try to perfect that way, and you become a really skilled tradesman because you can perfect making a sword or a table or whatever. And perhaps a tradesman, like anything, can eventually use their trade as art, as you could use anything as art. Uh, and so maybe maybe I still don't know what the difference between crafts and art is. I don't know. I really but perhaps what would fit your definition better would be the artist versus the tradesman. Because an artist isn't trying to replicate something that has already been done. They're not trying to perfect a skill that has already been laid out, better than the last person. An artist isn't doing that, but a tradesman is. And so that's my proposal, is that fits your definition better. But it still leaves the the question of, what are crafts? Why is there a difference between crafts and art? And like, because there somehow is. I don't know what it is. I like doing art. I don't like doing crafts. Unless here's a proposal for people who do crafts: is the difference is that crafts are often functional, and like they serve a purpose. Like usually a craft is like, you make a picture frame, you make something that you can hang up, like a like a wind chime, or you make like dolls, or you make like pencil holders. I don't know, like you make something that can serve a function, like an everyday function. And then perhaps art serves no function other than like no purposeful function other than just to create. And then you can argue, what is art? Is it to cause a reaction? Is it to make a statement? Is it just to create beauty, to create ugliness, create anything? And it doesn't have to serve a purpose. Like, it doesn't have to serve a functional physical purpose other than to entertain the mind. This is a really fun topic. So that's my proposal then. Is craftsmen perhaps are trying to be useful in a practical way as well, and that's their focus more so than the art part. And artists aren't worried about being useful in a practical way, like in a physical way. Um, they're more about stimulating the mind and the eye, and that the definition you proposed about the difference between artists and craftsmen were actually probably being better defined as a difference between artists and tradesmen. So let me know what you guys think.